Good morning, everyone. What are we, Saturday? Happy Saturday. How are you? I'm coming on because I wanted to share some amazing news. I've just secured a contract with a new company and I'm going to be offering some trauma-informed training for organizations for the Action Foundation in Newcastle, which means that I'll be traveling down to Newcastle a couple of times towards the end of the year, offering some bespoke and trauma-informed training for their amazing team. Now, they do some absolutely wonderful work, and I felt incredibly humbled and honored to be contacted by them to offer their team this very special training. And we've had lots of negotiations about exactly what that training should look like, what the content would be, what the team might benefit from, perhaps thinking about some of the themes that they've been navigating, thinking also about what trauma-informed practice is and bringing it to life, as well as weaving in this idea that there are so many challenges when it comes to trauma-informed practice, not only in the way we work with clients, but also in that idea of practicing self-care and thinking of secondary trauma and vicarious trauma that we experience depending on the area we work in. And this particular organization definitely is exposed to trauma and works with trauma. We also wanted to look at what does trauma-informed practice look like from a systemic perspective, and what are the challenges within that, and how can we navigate that in healthier and more helpful ways. There was also a wish to have more discussions, a couple of case studies, and some kind of interactive experiences. I feel incredibly grateful and so excited about these trainings, and I'm hoping they're the start of many more. I love doing any kind of trainings and workshops with any companies, whether it's corporate or community or charity organizations. I think particularly trauma-informed practice is very important. And when it comes to Scotland in particular, we've got this remit that we want to make Scotland a trauma-informed nation. However, though, this is in the whole of the UK. And I'm really noticing that almost all the organizations that I have on my radar are really embedding trauma-informed approaches. And this means that these organizations are getting their staff training. And there's a lot of a basic kind of amazing training out there into different levels. And I know this from being in social work myself, where I've been fortunate enough to receive a lot of training. But then there's this other side of it. How do you bring that to life? And I guess that's where I come in. So when I work with any organization, there's a number of connection calls and discussions. There's a lot of planning and back and forth. I offer various options, various plans. Of course, pricing needs to be agreed. But most importantly, how can I make this training really unique and bespoke for the organization, so that I want the staff or even the clients, depending who I'm offering it to walk out of my training and go, wow, I really got something from that. It wasn't death by PowerPoint. It wasn't dry. I really brought it to life for them. And this is exactly what I'm aiming to do for this organization. And I just got the green light to be able to share that I'm working with them. It's another thing that I always check with companies. Some companies would rather not share that they're working with an external trainer or party. Completely respect that. So I always check, and I'm always really careful with stuff like that, confidentiality, thinking about those trauma-informed principles of collaboration, working together, empowerment, choice. That already begins the moment someone gets in touch with me and we start working together. So I really wanted to share that because I'm super excited and incredibly grateful, and I can't wait to travel to Newcastle because I've never been to Newcastle. So I'll be there a few times. I'll definitely share updates when the time comes. But yeah, honestly, I could have never dreamt when I started doing this work and I started COA as a business, I could have never dreamt that this is where I landed. And I've worked incredibly hard. So I want to just offer myself a bit of compassion here and a bit of kindness and a bit of a sense of pride, because I have worked really hard to get here. And I think we don't say that enough as professionals, but I'm also incredibly humble that organizations like this that I hugely admire and respect would ask me to come in and do training for them, I don't just take that lightly and think, yeah, of course they're going to ask me. I feel incredibly honored and humbled, and I don't take it for granted. So if you are looking for something a little bit special for your organization, whether it's a charity or a corporate organization, you can go on my website and look at my whole variety of services that I offer. I don't actually only do trauma-informed training. I recently did some wonderful nervous system regulation workshops for a corporate company. I've done sound workshops for various organizations. I've actually got a Reiki, a half day of training and experiential practices coming up as well with another corporate company. But I offer loads of stuff. And one thing I do is whatever I do offer, whether it's a training, a whole day, a half day, a couple of hours, or a workshop, I always offer the option of weaving in some practices. So offering examples of mindfulness, of breath work, of nervous system regulation, somatic practices, and so on. Not only because I want the staff or the people who are attending themselves to feel like they're leaving with some resources, but also because I think it makes it, again, much more interactive and approachable. And I know for me, that's when I learn the most, when I'm not just sitting looking at a PowerPoint or hearing theory the whole day. It needs to come to life. So if that's what you're looking for, get in touch with me. I offer a free connection call. We have lots of discussions before any agreement is made, because I think that takes time for us to feel like we have a connection, to feel like this is the right fit, to feel like that I'm offering you exactly what you need for your organization. So yeah, there we go. I just wanted to share that because I was just actually doing some prep work for it, and I was just feeling so grateful, and I wanted to share that with you all. So yeah, there we go. So if you're working in organizations, charities, whatever, corporate companies, and you think that you'd like to bring in something quite special and bespoke, something that's unique for the staff in your team, in your organization, get in touch with me. As I said, I have a whole variety of services that I offer. Oh, and I should also say, just like my community workshops and anything that I do in the community, if you work with me with an organization, or I work with an organization, I always share resources after every session. So you will get a whole kind of a whole list of various resources, any recordings that you request, anything else. And of course, there's any kind of aftercare that's needed. If people want to reach out to me, I'm always available. This isn't just about turning up, having a training or a workshop, and that's it, you're done. It's actually about encouraging you to integrate that into your practice, your work, your life. So, okay, I'm going to leave you all. I'm wishing you a beautiful day. It's a gorgeous day here today. I'm off to North Berwick today to get some sun and go to the beach. Although it's quite windy and chilly, but I feel like going to the seaside. Thank you for listening. Thank you for continuing to support me, for following me. I'm really grateful, honestly. I know I keep saying that, but I genuinely mean that. And I'd like to think, if you're following me, if you've gotten to know me, if you've met me, I hope that I share that authenticity and the genuineness, and not taking for granted every time I have an amazing opportunity to work with an organization, work with a company, hold space for people in workshops. I'm so grateful. So thank you. And if you don't know me, I should have said at the beginning, my name is Corey. I am based in Edinburgh in Scotland, and I am the face of Koa, my business, and Koa Unplugged, the podcast. Have a beautiful, beautiful day.